isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to HPR Imsa Series Round 1 at the beautiful circuit of Daytona. And we're going to be playing around the oval, but we're going to be enjoying our circuit racing. My name is Stephen Koenig. Joining me in the commentary booth is James Watson, our producer Rob Campbell on the cams, and also cameras brought by Track Cam. It's 22, and what a time to be alive. What a time to be here at the HPR Imsa. And James, we're in for a treat around Daytona.
That we are, and you know, it just feels right. An IMSA style endurance series, start the season off at Daytona. It just makes sense, you know, like mac and cheese or peanut butter and jelly. And I think we're going to be treated to one heck of a race. You know, we've got some incredibly talented drivers in this field, and watching them do battle for 60 minutes, like, what more could you ask for?
Well, what we saw in practice was some close calls and some incredible action, but also we have got some incredible partners joining us here at HPR. We've got our title sponsor, Hymo, provides professional sim racing setups. Whether you're a veteran or whether you're just getting started out, Hymo's got you sorted out, and also helps elevate racing standards a little bit more comfortable on their setups. Plus, a big thing coming in is each race winner gets a 1-month subscription to Hymo, and at the end of the season, there'll be a random draw where you can get 1 year subscription to Hymo, a random draw for the drivers out there. So you don't always have to come first. Just got to be lucky. Next of one of our sponsors is going to be Monster Designs. They're bringing some custom liveries to the drivers and also bringing custom liveries for you to enjoy your special events. It's professional designs and branding will keep you going, and livery giveaways to be done throughout the season on top of it. And another one of our sponsors, a little name, Admin Box. If you are into broadcasting or if you're into operational support, Admin Box has got you covered. It helps out with all the race control, organization tools, and more. Supports the leagues and operation structures here at HPR Imsa. Now, with that being said, we said we're at Daytona. It's going to be a stunning one. Then round 2, we head to Long Beach. We've got quite an exciting calendar ahead of us here for the HPR Imsa, and I can't wait to see how the drivers have to contend with some of the most difficult stuff, including Monza in the rain. But qualifying is underway. We had our GTDs out on circuit, our Pro and our normal GTD class, but we've just been released with our sports cars, and that's our LDMH and LMP2s getting their laps done and dusted.
Absolutely, and you see everyone putting up some great lap times right now, and it's definitely interesting seeing how they're doing it. It's curious on seeing the LMDHs making their way past the LMP2 cars without really messing each other's lap times up. So far, so good, but that's definitely the biggest worry that you have when you're doing multi-class open qualifying like this. But you really appreciate them for putting this on. You know, it's definitely got the realism down pat.
Well, Jan Santiago Barros out in the Dallara LMP2 currently leads his class, and well, Barbie Girl in the Barbie world currently leading out everyone. Oh, and jumping over the curbs.
Oh,
yep. Life in plastic might need a little bit something more drastic, as Lakin Shaw getting
definitely not
overtaken.
fantastic.
No, not at all after that one. But that being said, James, take us through a bit of what to expect in multi-class racing with LDMH, LMP2, GTD Pro and GTD, both are GTD Pro and GTD class in the GT3 cars. But for those that haven't got to experience some multi-class racing before.
Well, there's one quote that sums it up perfectly. It's you can't not lose time in traffic, but you can lose less time in traffic. Everyone knows that this is going to be what you're going to have to deal with. You're going to be going around cars that are slower than you naturally. You're going to have cars that are just going to be blowing right by you because of their added downforce and horsepower. So it's on everyone to make sure that you can get by safely without a massive incident. There's going to be so much patience and give and take needed for everyone to get through these 60 minutes as scot-free as possible. Thankfully, Daytona, that's a lot easier to deal with because you have so much more room to work with and a lot better areas to kind of get by or let someone by. You know, just hesitate going into the bus stop just a little bit and you'll be able to just fly by the GT cars going around the banking easily. You know, if you see a prototype coming, it's like, okay, I can maybe stay to the yellow line right here before we get to the bus stop and let them drive right on by, you know, just to use a couple examples. So you have to have that patience and understanding with everyone. Otherwise, things are going to get bad, and they're going to get bad quickly, which is, you know, not great for everyone on the track, but really great for us because it makes our job easier when we're yelling at someone flying into the catch fence.
Well, it's going to most certainly be an interesting one, as we've got to talk about the selection of vehicles coming into the season. For our LDMH, Porsche heavily favored versus the rest. We've got a couple of Ferraris, Acuras and Cadillac in amongst the mix, but also our GT3s. Quite vast with a different selection. Drivers trying to find what is going to work out for the season, what's going to be the best. They can't just focus on one single race. But LDMH being heavily favored by the Porsches at the moment, do you think that's going to really put everyone on the same terms? Since it's open setup, we do have use of Hymo to go and get professional setups for these cars. Or do you feel that there's still that added element of, is it really going to work out compared to the rest of the field, such as the Acura, the Ferrari and the Cadillacs?
Well, that's the interesting thing, is that, you know, every track is different and suits these cars differently. So yeah, the Porsche seems to be the car to beat here at Daytona, but that could very well not be the case with the rest of the tracks on the schedule. And plus, you never know what fun gifts BOP is going to bring. So yeah, you're making the choice to run the Porsche now, but you have no idea if that's still the great choice to make as the season goes on. So we'll be curious to see how the other cars kind of try to get their way past the Porsches, you know, like the Ferrari teams and the Acura teams, and, you know, looking at the field. I will say, though, I think it's going to be really hard to beat the Dallaras in LMP2. It feels like the entire class is all Dallaras, so it's just going to be difficult.
Sounds like someone needs to bring the Ligiers in to have some fun. But that being
Yes.
said, our GT3 is quite vast with a number of drivers in it. Mixture of Ferrari, Porsche, Merc, McLaren, Ford Mustangs, no Acuras in the field, but quite a selection of GT3 vehicles. No one really picking one over the other, except we do have an odd Aston Martin, or two actually, in the field. Andrew Davies being one, then Matt Very, Christoph is having one of them, and that's about that for our Astons.
Yeah, and you know, I appreciate that. It's always something when you see a lone wolf type driver and team picking a car that might not necessarily be close to the meta. As we were talking before we went on air, me, who was a loyal ancient Ford GT driver, Lord knows I can appreciate the non-common car choice.
With that being said, qualifying out of the way and drivers start to get ready. It is going to be a split start for round one, and let's go through the grid. It's Adrian Popper who runs in first place with Adolf Perez, Daniel Bricoeur, Landon Stewart, Jace Lawson, Colin Smith, Andres Quevedo, Gerard McKee, Nathan Willie, and Corey Patton rounding out our top 10.
And then we have Nigel Langley, Wig Santiago on row 6. Row 7 features Juan Santiago Barrios next to Ryan Anderson, Lakin Shaw, and Carlos Ruiz Predilia on row 8. Row 9 features Kenneth Clodin and Jason Blaine. Rounding out the top 20, we have Donald Powell and Matthew Mitchell. My apologies if I'm butchering names.
Don't worry, it's the same here, but it's Andrew Bruce that will be on the tail end of the LMP2 with Nicholas Lancers. Moving on to our GTD class, starting with our pros, it's Avery Hart and Federico Callio, followed by Eric Hammond, Ryan Frankenberry, Daniel Pino, Timothy Marcelo, Luca Tosi, and Jacob Group, who rounds out P30.
And then we have Aldo Seslin and Will Atum on row 16. Row 17 has Curtis Poliso and Matvey Kostov. Then on the next row, we have Andrew Davis and Matthew Noel, Gareth Colber and Donald Ingram Jr. Then rounding out the top 40, it's Liam Habul and Carlos Sierra.
And that's not it. We've got Gavin Cambry and Alex Caution in 42. Edward Delano, followed by Matt Glass Rister, Jason Lupin, Brandon Demitter, Gonzo Upskill, Jacob Mattox, Tim Keane is going to be at the back of his class in 49th position with Scott Farrell in P50.
Rounding out the field, we have John Wainrich, David Dumont, and Noah Schaus. 53 cars on this track. Oh boy.
And multi-class racing to boot, short formation lap, and drivers making every bit of use of it, trying to get some heat into the tires, get some heat into the brakes as they line up behind the Porsche safety car. You can see our LDMH cars now just trying to generate any little bit of heat that they can into the cars, into the brakes, and we've got our race control keeping a very close eye on the action, single file, and no one looking to bin it behind the safety car, because that would be rather embarrassing and easy to do on cold tires. That being said, Adrian Pabula and Adolf Perez currently hold first and second in the LDMH cars. The High Point Racing and Composite Performance looking to charge off the line quite quickly. The question is, are they going to be quick enough on the button to Daniel Picor, who currently will be out in the Ferrari?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, but I tell you, it's fascinating to see them have this set up like that. This is something I have never seen from any other endurance IMSA style league, and I really appreciate that. You know, there's something to be said about realism on the sim and leagues like this that adhere to it in such a unique and interesting way. Like, this is just really cool if you're a competitor, you know?
Now, I do want to correct myself. They are doing a full pace lap, but that being said, with a monstrous field like this, drivers having that bit of a split start is rather handy, but you can see the GT3 cars quite far back compared to the LMP2s and the LDMHs, just for an easier start. Now, we all know the chaos that sometimes comes from the start lines. James, what will it be for each of the different classes? For Adrian, who currently will be starting ahead of the LDMH cars, then we've got our LMP2s with Jan Santiago, who will be starting off his class, and Avery Hart for the GTDs. What is each class needing to do to ensure that they don't become a statistic in accidents?
Well, the important thing, I'd say, you know, real groundbreaking commentary here. The important thing is to not spin, because especially if you're a prototype, if you spin, you're gonna have to let a lot of cars by and hope that none of those hit you, depending on where you spin. Thankfully, it shouldn't be that much of an issue with everyone being spread out such as they are. In theory, you should be able to get turned around in time before everyone catches up. But even still, you can't fully bank on that depending on how big the incident is. So it's really just making sure that you're taking it easy into turn one on the cold tires, even with the warm-up phase, and not over pushing it and putting yourself in that scenario. You know, this isn't a true endurance race with it only being 60 minutes, but it's still an endurance race. And what you might gain with an aggressive move in turn one that backfires, it really doesn't mean a whole lot in the span of a 60-minute endurance race, especially losing time in traffic.
And that being said, our drivers need to keep their head on their shoulders. Turn one and also the bus stop are notorious to any of our sim races knowing to be a car killer of note. With that being said, the HPR IMSA series round one is about to go underway. As our safety car lights are off, the safety car will start looking to head down onto the apron and diving to pit lane. It is going to be a bit of a wild one for our drivers as they get ready to race, get ready to launch off a line. Safety car out the way. LDMHs now lead out the field. Adolf and Adrian side by side as we go green, 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 and already we've got a meatball flag for Tim Keen, who's unfortunately got himself caught out, but it's a clean start thus far from our LDMH class, going side by side into turn one. Aldalar is now charging off a line. It's a little bit more manic at the back as drivers trying to move their way forward.
Whoa!
Looks like Ryan got it wrong.
Yep, that's what I talked about. Thankfully, he's able to get it turned around and back going, but he's got to get up to speed real quick. Here come the GT cars.
The GT cars are going to be a lot better on the brakes with the ABS and traction control. Avery Hart currently leading out the pack, leaving the rest to slug it out behind him as we got another spinner at the back. Unfortunately, it looks like that might have been Jacob that got it out of double. That unfortunately has ended quite a few of them. Aldo Silicon, unfortunately, taking a lot of damage to his car. And Andrew Davis, one of two Aston Martins, looking a little bit bent out of shape. We'll have to get that car repaired and get it into the pits, but it's all clean sailing at the moment from our LDMH cars. First time in anger through bus stop, trying to keep it all together. Colin Smith dropping way off the mark, and unfortunately two spinners.
Synchronized spinning almost.
Colin getting it all out of shape, joined in by one of our Cadillacs.
Oh no,
and now
oh boy.
our Dolores coming in for a bit of fun as well. This is getting a little bit wild and a bit rusty. So let's take a look at Colin through the bus stop. Keeping it all together. Bounces over the curves in bus stop, and that's all she wrote.
And then gonna see that second LMDH do the same thing right there, Weak Santiago. Thankfully, they were both able to not hit anything, but that messes up the LMP2 field, as now they had to deal with those two trying to get up to speed again.
Well, Forberger was lucky not to catch Colin's car, as we do see a couple of cars diving into the pits. They do have one fast repair to play with to get themselves sorted out, but let's talk about that, because you're only allowed 15 incident points before you get a drive through, and then every 10 after that lands up with a knock. Every time you get contact with a car, that's 4. You go off track, it's 1. Sideways, you get it times 2. So unfortunately, it is rather close.
And let me tell you, it's gonna be a lot closer than you think, because with the new updated bus stop, you know, getting rid of the grass and adding those sausage curves that everybody loves. Everyone loves sausage curves, but that's a rant for another day. It is so ridiculously easy to get a 1X through the bus stop, as you see Daniel Baccaro losing it on the exit of the bus stop.
Enters all fine. The Ferrari just getting out of shape as he goes wide, kicks the rear up.
And backs it in too. That's probably going to be fast repair worthy, but yeah, so it's easy to rack up the 1X through here. So if you can avoid even a single drive through, that's going to be one of the most impressive things I've seen.
All of the drivers giving it everything that they got thus far. Federico currently in 25th, started in 24th, so down 1 position, but still trying to give it his absolute all. Drivers have got to remember they've only got 60% fuel on their cars, and they will need to do a pit stop during this 1-hour race, which does make things rather difficult, as your planning has to be absolutely critical. Adrian at the moment currently leading out the entirety of the field, going and having a lot of fun out there, and you can actually see every time he gets into the rev range, little lights on the steering wheel just reminding you to change gears. He is keeping a very close eye on the mirrors, and now is starting to catch up to the back of our GTD classes. So,
and you see, so far so good for him right now.
With the traffic coming up, he's going to have to really think about it. He's got Aldolfo Perez chasing him down in 2nd place. Daniel Baccaro in 3rd. Landon Stewart holding for 4th place. Landon with the number 1 on the car, looking to try and move forward. Sorry, it's going to be Jace Larson with number 1 on the car, going to be trying to charge his way forward, as our LDMH has now got to play the tango with the GTD class. And this is something you spoke about a little bit earlier, having to mine the gap, not wanting to go and lose too much time. At the same time, you've got to respect the smaller classes if you're in the bigger one, and if you are in the smaller classes, you got to be a little bit bullish and hold your line, being predictable right the way through.
Yeah, because you know, you see it a lot with some more inexperienced multi-class drivers in the GT cars. A lot of times they'll kind of get out of the way purposefully, which on paper would be a great idea, but the problem is that you already kind of make the decision of where to go as the faster car a little bit before that. So oftentimes you'll see kind of like that awkward thing when you're walking down the street and someone tries to get out of your way, but you try to get out of their way, and so you're just kind of getting in each other's way. Yeah, that happens a lot if you're doing that. And so the best thing you can do is just hold your line and let that faster car make their way by, because that faster car already has their route planned out. So just let them do their thing and just, you know, be as smart as you can about it.
At the moment, we do see Ryan trying to make a move, looks down the inside. Can he get it done? Absolutely clean into the bus stop. No worries there. And what a great drive on his part. Slowly but surely trying to march his way up through the order. He's got past Nicholas as we head down. Colin Smith, an early spinner, trying to move his way back up through the order. He's got Daniel Bracquot trying to chase him down in that Ferrari, absolutely on the back of him. These two landed up with an awkward spin a little bit early on, and now trying to just suss each other out. Our LDMH class in for a bit of a brawl, with currently Colin trying to make his way around. The tires are going to be extremely warm after his spin, and we head further down, well, further up the field. This is Andres Cuervo, who is now keeping Nathaniel Lilly behind him. The Cadillac, almighty drive, unfortunately not getting the drive out onto the oval, which is absolutely critical if you want to keep the battle up and you wanting to get third in class. Chase Larson, however, has got a monstrous gap to these two.
Yeah, that's the thing. The corner leading back onto the oval and the bus stop, those are the two most important corners on the track, as we got a replay here. Whoa, you see someone there on the apron having an incident. Looks like it's Perez. Oh, monster trucks over the sausage curbs and around he goes.
Not quite good for your tire life, but the drivers trying everything they can to really get the pace out early on. Gavin Cambrai now trying to move forward and see what he can do at this stage of the game. Currently in 32nd position. Gavin hoping that he can keep a solid drive, and in currently a solid run with Donald Ingram Jr. That 434 Mercedes ahead of him, currently holding on for third place. Matthew Null, however, 3 seconds adrift from them, is going to be more than happy to see these two battling out.
Absolutely. But yeah, to finish up my point earlier, you know, those corners are so important because they lead on to the biggest straightaways on the whole track. So if you make a mistake and you cost yourself a 10th, that 10th is just going to keep growing and multiplying over the course of that straightaway. If there's any parts on this track you have to be good at, it's those two corners, so you're not hemorrhaging that time lap after lap.
Well, that being said, take a look. This is a battle for the overall lead, and LDMH.
As they're going by lap traffic, this certainly isn't problematic.
And it looks like we've also got Adrian with a bit of internet trouble as well, which caused Landon to come a little bit off the gas, trying to find out where they are as they fight it out, both at the sharp end of the field, Porsche versus Acura. And, well, I've got to say, the Acura definitely looking rather feisty, as Landon trying everything he can do to see if he can slip into first place, trying to navigate through the traffic. They're going to have to really keep it all together. And this is where fighting for the lead becomes a little bit more difficult, and you've got to actually put differences aside and say, right, let's try and get through the traffic first before we try anything clever here. And Landon trying everything he can do under braking, really slowing up, seeing if he can get around Adrian, who got fouled up coming onto the oval. And this is where the LDMHs show their power around the outside, on the high side, no problem at all. But in the slipstream, so far, Landon has got the advantage over Adrian.
Yeah, thankfully they're able to get some sort of reprieve here. Oh, I think Landon might have bounced off of the wall. If not, he got way close.
Adrian a little bit slow after, I think he was the one that got caught into the wall. Here comes Landon around the outside. He's going to try up high. Can he get it done? 3 wide with our GTD. Adrian managing just to hold the line. Goes back to center as he retakes his normal racing line. Landon, seeing there's an opportunity, tries for the inside into turn 1, couldn't get it done. Turn 2, turn 3, not a problem. Heading into turn 4, late on the anchor, swings around the outside. These two absolutely brawling it out in the LDMHs. And what a drive. Landon, unfortunately, nowhere to go. Now sits waiting for his opportunity as they're going to get around Matthew Knoll, currently second in the GTD class. Going and seeing these two brawl it, get up on the inside, sling their chances around. Absolutely mental out on circuit. Jacob is going to now take a look in his mirror and see these two come close to action, thankfully, on the oval.
Yeah, this is some fantastic driving from honestly everyone to be able to race this hard around lap traffic and no real chaos or calamity. That's not easy. You don't see this happen a whole lot without a lot of pain, but so far so good.
At the moment, while these two are brawling it out, we did see on our right-hand side Carlos Ruz going and fighting in our LMP2 class. He is trying to move up against Laken Shaw, and Jan Santiago Barros currently holds on to the lead, but only just at this stage of the game, not going and pulling away from the rest of the field. But we've also got, amongst everything going on with our LDMH LMP2, we've got our GTD Pro and GTDs that are actually mixing wheels with one another. This is Federico Kello, who's trying to move his way up through the order, currently lying in third place, 24th overall. Try and see if he can get a little bit closer to Daniel Pinot, and he's got the likes of Eric Hammond chasing him down. Federico now just trying to navigate his way through, but amongst our GTD Pro, we do have Curtis Poliso from Canada, who's first in the GTD class and currently having a great fight in 28th. He's ahead of Jacob Grubb, who's 6th in the GTD Pro class. So we are seeing this mix amongst all the different classes and overall results coming into play as drivers navigate their way through, each trying to figure out what works. Unfortunately, we do have one of the cars currently out of the race, and that's Jacob Mattox in the Chev, not able to get the car across the line.
That is unfortunate. We're on board with him now. This might be the replay of what ails that Corvette. Oh, yep, that's not gonna help. And then, uh-oh. Whoa, good avoidance so far. Oh boy, and he's just gonna tow. So as difficult as that is, that's the safest and the smartest thing he could do. That's basically, you know, jumping on the grenade to save everyone else. It's gonna really just kill his race, but it avoided killing a lot of other people's races, so that is absolute fair play to him.
I think not many people go and take that option. They try and get themselves going. As you could see, he was just trying to see if he could reverse it off circuit, realizing, hold on, there is no room here, rather get back. But that being said, we're back up towards our sharp end of the field. This is Andres Cuevido, who currently holds into 8th position. He is absolutely trying to fight back through the order. He's got Nigel Langley ahead of him, trying to see if he can close that gap a little bit more, trying to see if he can get into the fight. However, got to be a little bit late on the brakes here. You got to see if you can work it out. And for Andres, he's doing everything he can to not only go on the attack, but he is also on the defense with Colin Smith. After an early spin, is really having a great fight back and a little bit of a slip and slide down the inside, not wanting to lose the drive and really trying to grab hold of that Porsche. Colin out there having a great one. Kenneth Cloden trying to move forward at this stage of the game as well. Currently 7th in the LMP2 class. He's got Ryan Anderson holding on for a top charge, trying to see if he can get on by. And so far, our drivers doing everything they can to stay alive. Ryan trying to stand on the gas. Will need to keep Kenneth at bay. Kenneth in a pseudo Porsche, just trying to mix it in with the LDMH cars ahead of him and trying to blend the Dallara in. It's going to be a bit of an interesting one. However, Ryan not making it any easier and saying, listen, not going to happen yet. We're going to have to figure out a much better system as we navigate around the SpongeBob car, around the outside through bus stop. Brave as hell.
Carlos Sierra, SpongeBob SquarePants screaming, "I'm not ready!" as the leaders go through the bus stop around him. Mother of mercy. Oh, wow.
Oh, nearly the hug from there. And, well, they were staring at him menacingly, that's for certain. Gonzalo trying to move forward as he is currently holding 37th position. Started in 47th. He's got Scott Farrell behind him and Jason Lupin trying to close up the gap. Donald Ingram Jr. currently up ahead of them. There are 4 GTDs trying to move forward. Jason going and chasing down in the All-American Ford Mustang here at Daytona. Gonna have to really get late on the anchors to catch up as he is trying to move forward against some very difficult machinery ahead of him. The McLaren, not an easy car to deal with. And Scott Farrell is making that car extremely wide and getting some really great corner exits. So, James, with that being said, thoughts on the race thus far? 42 minutes to go. Our GTD Pro, GTD, our LMP2 and LDMH cars currently having a good drive out there. So far, not going and having monster accidents, but a few spins catching people out. And also, now our drivers seemingly getting used to passing lap traffic, as we do have, unfortunately,
maybe
one
not.
of Mercedes. Yep.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's definitely been a phenomenally run race from everyone. Yeah, we've seen a couple incidents, but you know, no race is ever going to be truly clean of incidents, especially, you know, these cars aren't always the easiest to drive, especially these LMDHs, especially going through this bus stop, which is, these curbs are not designed with any car in mind, let alone these temperamental prototypes. But yeah, phenomenal job so far from everyone to mind their P's and Q's, be patient with everyone, and put on some fantastic racing. The LMDH battle for the lead has been unbelievable to watch right now.
Well, as we were talking about off air, the amount of skill, the iRating, the drivers out on the circuit are not just your junior drivers. We've got a lot of veterans out there that are incredibly quick, showing off their skill. 5K iRating drivers moving forward. We've also got a little bit on the lower end. I mean, take a look on the bottom right. We've got Adrian Pablo, who currently is a 3000 iRating driver, taking the fight to Landon Stewart, who is on the upper 4000, trying to move forward. Those two are having a great charge. Also on our left, Federico Kellio holding on for second place. He's got Daniel Pinot chasing him down. Federico, 5,000 iRating driver against Daniel, a 4,000 iRating driver. But they are on the same piece of tarmac as those that have got lower iRatings that get to have an opportunity to race against these very, very quick iRacers, get to put skill against skill. It's not just on iRating alone. You are now getting skill against skill. They went through a qualifying period to get put into their classes in GTD Pro, GTD, and also to go and battle out in the LDMH and LMP2 classes.
Yeah, that's the thing about iRating, is that it is a great tool in kind of having an idea on someone's skill set, but also not quite, because like I think we can all think of a few people that we raced against with like 2K and under that have the pace of someone 6K or above, and that's because of the fact that they just don't run officials all that often. You know, me being just under 5.5K in oval, there's definitely, as we see someone almost going off right here, that's the race leader. That was nearly disastrous. But yeah, I've been dumpstered by guys with 2K less rating than me, just because, you know, I tend to run more officials in niche cars. but they're absolutely quicker than me in that particular car. So it tells the story, but it only tells a few chapters.
That being said, Landon Stewart now takes a lead on the race as we get some beautiful in-car shots of our drivers. Various different setups. We saw Adrian's setup, a little bit more calm. And now we take a look to Jason Blaine as he's trying to navigate the traffic. Direct drive, steering wheel, a little bit of a motion rig as well, as various drivers going and showing off their gear. It's wonderful to see the in-car cams as drivers move forward, but we are starting to see pit stops coming into play, and quite a few of them. This is now coming down to who has got the drive, who's going to be moving forward. Lakin Shaw, however, is sitting with a drive-through that needs to be done. We've seen a couple of drivers unfortunately getting their pit stops wrong. Lakin Shaw will need to do a drive-through on top of his pit stop. But that also brings in the next factor here at HPR IMSA Series: strategy. It's not about pace. It's about trying to survive long enough and utilize strategy to move you forward. It's going to get lots and lots of traffic in pit lane, but you don't want to get caught in the traffic during the course of the race. James, what will be the right idea for our drivers at the moment as we see Landon Stewart and Adrian Pebola, who are currently fighting out for the lead of the race, navigating through some incredibly difficult traffic in LMP2 and GTD?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that what do you want to do? Do you want the undercut? Do you want the overcut? That's the fun thing about strategies. It's like you never can quite tell what the main strategy is that you want to be on here. So it's just basically kind of how your car is feeling, and what do you think you'll be able to accomplish if you can at least try to get out of the draft range of the car you're battling with here. So it's fascinating to see what everyone's going to choose.
Well, so far it's been a bit of a madhouse. Nathaniel Willie currently holding on with the Cadillac, trying to keep up the drive, as Edward Delano, who is trying to get out the bus stop, is a little bit on the slower end to the rest. Didn't have quite the drive that he wanted. Let's quickly take a look at it. And there was Colin Smith behind him by the looks of it. Took the dive down the inside. The two of them had a meeting of minds. Getting caught up. Edward, nowhere to go, unfortunately. And it was a slow drive for both of them. Quick, I'm sorry, as they navigated through a bit of a Gymkhana event there. Apologies, that was awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately that does happen from time to time here.
Bus stop, an incredibly difficult one to say the least, and I've got to say the livery looking rather nice on the car. This is Landon Stewart. Oh, landed in and out through pit lane. Oh, catching the wall. Cold tires, couldn't quite get the drive out there. Not exactly what you want, and will affect the aero out on the oval. Not really the game plan for what was a fight for first place. Landon now going in, sharing a bit of paint with the pit wall.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard of a hit, so it's hard to say if he's going to get damage from that, but these things are so sensitive that any hit, you're absolutely terrified if that damage is going to affect anything. So hopefully he's got that spotter damage command map to tell him if he's got any. Otherwise, this might be a tough last half of the race for him, or half the race, give or take, at any rate.
Well, that being said, taking a look at the pit stops so far, as we see Jace Larson, Nathaniel Willie, Alfredo Perez, Gerard Key, Nigel Langley all diving into the pits. Colin Smith, as well as our LDMH, is opting to get themselves sorted. Let's see how it all shakes up as our field needs to go that little bit more. Corey Patton will be looking to move forward in the mix as well. LMP2's all done with their stuff. GTD Pro still needing to get a couple of cars in, and our GTDs trying to get themselves sorted up. It's open setup, so you could go for a lighter fuel tank and maximize the pace early on, or you can go and fuel your tank up to 60%, which is the maximum, and try and go long on the tank. Jason, I mean, we see various different plans here. Landon Stewart and Adrian Pabula currently, they went in a little bit earlier than the rest of their class, moved themselves back towards the sharp end of the field. But for drivers out there doesn't seem to be a hardcore strategy of what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, you can really only have so much variance in endurance cars in a 60-minute race, you know, because I'm not entirely sure if they're going to need to or want to take tires. So if that's the case, it's really just based on fuel. And typically in a situation like this, personally, I tend to run it dry to have more laps on the lower tank, be a little quicker, and maybe try to be able to take less fuel for that next stop and get myself some time out of it. But you see, sometimes that doesn't always work. So again, we really won't have a great idea on what the winning strategy was till we get to the final minutes, and that's the best part, when everyone has no idea what's going to happen and how everything is going to work out, isn't it?
With it being the first race of the season, drivers trying to see what works out, everyone trying to see what they can do, and majority of the grid working with our sponsors setup, Hymo, to ensure they've got the fastest and most competitive setups out in the HPL. Hymo, used by professionals and also made by professionals. For those veterans and new, they can help out through the order, but that also does bring into some of the awesome liveries out by Monster Designs as we carry on with the race. Beautiful looks, beautiful design, striking in their make, and various different classes get to have some of the best. Also some great prizes to be won, and a lot of our race control getting worked around in the background that I don't think anyone is well aware of. Admin Box utilizing our race control, going and helping out to move things forward, and if we need to bring out safety cars and such, Admin Box is just a button press away, making life a bit easier for race control and broadcasting. With that being said, Nathaniel trying to move forward, Matt Lars Rooster trying to see if he can go around the outside with his Porsche. Not an easy time. Matt fighting out for second in class. He's got Alex Kufasin currently fighting him out. Alex not giving him any room either to get past. Will sit, wait for his opportunity. And what a great drive on his part. Started 42nd, currently in 29th. And what a drive from our GTD class, still remaining right on top of one another. Nearly halfway into this race. 15 seconds when you say we're halfway in. James, thus far, it's incredible to see multi-class racing so close to one another. Yet at the same time, they can go and fight it out with positions higher than them. We've seen LMP2 cars trying to take the fight to our LDMHs. We've seen our GTD Pro and GTD class going at one another as well.
Yeah, that speaks volumes to the skill of everyone in these cars, where you can kind of outdrive the differences in your cars. See someone out there driving a modified. Oh, that's one of the our Aston runners who are still on track after their unfortunate circumstances early on in the race.
And Andrew Davies, I wonder, has he gone into the pit box? They do have a fast repair to play with, and he would have got that car fixed if he pitted, but he hasn't gone into the pits. We just had Rob Campbell, our cameraman, pointing out, saying, look, he hasn't got into the pits yet. And that's one hell of a Stroll aero package, I would say, for the Aston Martin. It's one way to keep the engine cool.
Yeah, that is that's definitely one way to look at it.
Let's take a look. This is Colin Smith running into a little bit of a hairy situation, heading into the bus stop and caused a meatball flag. Lost the tail end of the car. Ow! Big impact, rear suspension. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's emphasis on lost the tail end of the car right there, as you saw the wing just kind of flop off as he came to a rest.
Unfortunately, catching the marbles, all you can do is hang on, and the wall's getting a lot closer. Adolf trying to move forward up through the order in his Porsche, really trying to see if he can close down to Adrian. He's got Jace Larson, our previous champion, the #1 on the car, really closing up at a rate of knots. Jace hoping to get into the top 3 at this stage. Just over halfway in through the race for round 1. Everyone looking to maximize points here tonight to move forward. The question is, who will be able to walk away with the win, or even to stand on the top of the podium in each of the different classes? Remember, there's a prize for the winners, a 1-month subscription to Hymo, and that is absolutely crucial if you want to keep the winning ways. And also heading into the Nordschleife 24 this weekend, drivers are looking to find any advantage through the order, and also for our HPR series where you want to be at the top. John Welch, however, now trying to keep it all together as Alex gets past him down the inside, heading into the bus stop. Last of the late breakers to get it done, and John just to come off the gas.
That got close. They were able to tuck in perfectly, but oh man, that was inches away from a major dust up. Stellar racing.
Brandon Dittmer trying to move forward, and Brandon not having an easy drive in the Mustang, watching a phenomenal battle and just eyeing out his chance to come flying on by. The Ford Mustang, incredibly quick in the straight line, but doesn't seem to have the advantage in the corners compared to its mid-engine counterparts, as the 3 Porsches take on one another. Stellar race. Daniel Bequero out in the Ferrari LMDH car, trying to navigate his way through. I mean, James, this is a wild situation. This is an incredible situation. This is what we love to see as drivers, but also in multi-class racing, to navigate it is pure hell.
Yeah, we love to see it up in the broadcast booth. I don't know if Bequero loves to see it behind the wheel right now, but man, you said it. That is multi-class racing at its best, is when you have one class throwing haymakers at each other, battling for position, and you're in a faster car. You're just trying to make your way by as fast and as safe as possible. And yeah, gut check moments make it so worthwhile.
And let's take a look at this. This is the battle for first in the GTD Pro class. Federico Callio, Avery Hart, and Daniel Pino going and chasing one another, all 3 on top of one another. They've got the leader of the LMP2s on the back of them, and it's Jan Santiago who is looking left and right. We'll see the first 3 of GTD Pro and want to try and clear past him as quick as possible. First to them is going to be Daniel Pino in the Mercedes, who's not backing off, dives down the inside of Avery Hart, gets it done, and now just trying to get on the gas, utilizing all the waifu power to clear past Avery Hart, but now it's onto the gas, and Avery Hart of the DNR team continues to move forward. It is a stellar drive. Daniel Newman Racing working overtime to try and keep their drivers up at the top, and I can tell you it is going to be a wild moment from the fight going on, but that's allowed Federico Callio to move forward and have a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, breathing room, that's one way to put it. I don't know how much everyone is breathing at this point.
Federico trying to get a drive, unfortunately lost a lot through the bus stop, and this is allowed Avery Hart. Side by side they go, midline versus low line, which is going to be the quickest on the oval as they make their way through here at Daytona. This is going to help Daniel Pinio to close up in tow. Avery Hart taking the lead in the GTD Pro ahead of Federico, and now it's going to be Daniel down the inside as well as the two battle on to see if they can get past Avery Hart. What a drive coming in from our GTD Pro class. Our top three on top of one another, trying to navigate the traffic. And take a look at Federico Callio getting blasted by as Daniel sends it down the inside, avoids Jason Blaine, who's second on the LMP2s, trying to navigate his way around. This is mental. This is great. This is HPR.
Amen to that, my friend. This is incredible. And we still have 23 minutes left in this race. We're not even close to over, and this is the type of racing we're getting. Just wait for another 20 minutes to see the chaos that's going to be happening.
Now, with that being said, we've been talking about our GTD Pro, but we've got fights everywhere. I mean, this is a fight going on. John Wrench trying to move forward, and he's having a stellar run with Matt Loss. Alex is a little bit further up the road, third, fourth, and fifth in the GTD class. We did see the top three of our LMP2 class blasting on by. They're also close to one another. I mean, there is fights up and down through the order. Drivers each trying to move forward, trying to see what they can do, and trying to maximize the points here for round one at Daytona. I mean, these are crucial stages of the game, and is setting the bar for the season as we see a number of drivers trying everything they can, throwing, as you said, haymakers at one another, and everyone soaking up the pressure, going the extra mile, and trying to stay at the sharp end. Daniel, however, utilizing the power of the waifus, has now got the Daniel Newman Racing car ahead of him. Avery Hart trying to soak up that pressure. Mercedes versus Porsche, V8 versus the Boxer 6 ahead of him. What is going to have the power to run away and also navigate through the traffic, as they got Andreas Quevedo, 7th in the LMDH class, now trying to cycle his way through.
My money's on the waifu power winning out.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, I put on the LDMH that's trying to get past. Andres flashing his lights, trying to say, hey, listen, I need to clear on by. Can I try and get through? Daniel in the Ferrari, unfortunately not having the best of drives out there, landed up with a mistake heading into turn 4 with our LMP2 over the curve a little bit, and our high racing.
Oh man,
McLaren. Eric Hammond.
That unfortunate for Hammond right there.
Oh man, not really what you want to have. And yeah, Eric Hammond getting a little bit of a nose job in time for the Michael Jackson movie to be out. Nathaniel Willie trying to move forward as he's got Wig Santiago ahead of him. Some epic moments, and also unfortunately the curbs showing some epic fails coming in. Unfortunately, it happens to the best of drivers out there.
Yeah, and his front bumper might be saying beat it here if he doesn't get that repaired that soon enough.
Trip back through pit lane as Daniel now leads out the race in the GTD Pro. It is going to be Avery Hart in second place, trying to move forward. They've got Edward Delano, who is now in P16 of our GTD class, seeing him in the rearview mirror. And I do know our stewards and race control are keeping a very close eye on all the action happening out on track. They do see Edward dives out of the way. He takes the recovery road to avoid all of the carnage. And he's actually got damage to the car. No, he's not. He's got a black flag for track incidents, minding out of the way, and will be serving a drive-through. Our racing stewards and race control listening into the broadcast, listening into the drivers, everyone trying to figure out what's going on. And well, they're having a bit of a busy time in the back.
That they are definitely a lot to keep an eye on right now. Thankfully, as we said, not too much to look into. Really clean race, all things considered. But yeah, we have a few people that are very much not happy right now, though.
As we do have Jace Larson in towards pit lane, getting himself sorted out, and we have Laken Shaw. Unfortunately, we did see him earlier with a drive through. He's going up on the jacks, down and back out onto the circus. Andres Quevedo trying to move forward. He's currently running 6th in the LDMH class. Matthew Knoll at the moment running 3rd in the GTD class, trying to catch up to Alex ahead of him. It's just an ongoing fight back and forth. 18 minutes to go, and now it's a test of who's got the stamina to go the extra mile. Matt Loss now closing up the distance as our GTDs close up to one another. Matt currently lost on the train, but will have our LMDHs cycling on by to keep that high line rather busy.
Yeah, you see, he's about to join the battle. Yeah, here comes the rooster. You're welcome, Allison Chain fans who are also watching this broadcast. And that's all I'm legally allowed to sing before we're DMCA'd, so.
It's all about whether you can be the cock-a-doo-doo out to the front, or if you're going to land up down at the back. Can't be the hen in the mix here. Alex currently leads on the charge of the train, 2nd in class, with Matthew Knoll trying to close up the gap, getting rather busy behind. And now drivers trying to see what they can do to move forward. The question that comes down, Jason, I have to ask, what is going to be the main plan for the drivers here? I mean, James, you've got multi-class racing, an hour's worth of racing. It's busy out on circuit. We spoke about well over 40 cars starting this race. Everyone trying to slug their way through. Nose to tail racing. Something's got to give. Man, machine, sim, all of it.
Yeah, thankfully, you know, everyone being endurance drivers, you're used to much longer stints than just an hour. So the stamina should definitely be there, no issues. But what is interesting to keep in mind is the fact that how hard you're pushing, because when you're running an endurance race, you're not really typically pushing full 10/10ths throughout the race. If you are, you're kind of doing something wrong, and it's probably not going to end well. But here, you have to take those chances. You have to push hard, like we're seeing right now with these two battling for, I believe, P7 in class. But yeah, you probably wouldn't necessarily see a battle this hot and heavy in a traditional 24-hour race, but 15 minutes to go in a race that's only an hour, yeah, you're absolutely seeing this. Oh, I thought he was gonna go off. And let me tell you, seeing that paint on the 51, I love that. As someone who grew up a huge Lotus fan, seeing this paint, this does put a smile on my face.
Lotus Rebellion racing up against Roxy as the two fight it out for 7th8. Adrian Pavella coming around the outside. Quick flash of lights, just saying, hey, listen, I'm coming through. Just be cautious, be mindful. And what I have noticed, there isn't just rapid flashing of the lights. It's just hit the button once, warn the drivers that you're coming through, and carry on. It's not to the throttle pedal as Nicholas gets a phenomenal launch.
Oh my God, he sent it but put a little too much postage on it. Oh, flying over the sausage curves. But somehow he managed to hold it and actually has gained from it. That is incredible. I want to know if there's any floor damage on that. Oh, as we see Mitchell gonna go ahead and bring it on to pit lane for the final time here.
I would also send it into pit lane just to get that pit stop, because I want to know how exactly that was done. That was a postman pat send of note. To get it done that way into the bus stop, is impressive. That is for certain. Another one about Daniel Newman Racing, Corey Passon, trying to move forward. It got a little bit of a Cadillac problem on his tail, trying to move up through the order, and Corey has got Nathaniel Woolley, who's got the stellar drive, the Cadillac, with its monstrous V8 and one of the best starts from pit lane to circuit sound. Now has to try and fight against the Porsches. Nathaniel looks to the inside line, trying to get it done. Late on the anchors. My word. You couldn't get closer if you tried.
Yeah, Nathaniel running the Carson Hocevar chili scheme right in the dente through the bus stop. A phenomenal pass.
Whew, that is hot, heavy, and one way to get it done. And I think Corey gonna be saying, listen, not quite how I want you to get around me. Let's see what we can do, as now it is a battle back. Corey not wanting to get caught out, trying to keep up the drive, stuck to the outside, heading into turn one, around our GTD. Got an LMP2 problem right on the back of him. Lakin Shaw not holding back. Carlos Sierra in the SpongeBob colors, going and saying, I'm definitely not ready for this, as he was getting stared down menacingly by the LMP2 and LDMH class. He's just trying to keep it all together, holding 15th overall, but what 15th in class. But what a drive at the moment. Incredible drive from our HPR Imsa series. And I've got to say, the bar is set rather high for multi-class racing, because some incredible passes have been done, some incredible racing, and it's not over. I mean, we've still got some incredible fights like this. Jared McKee fighting out with Nigel Langley ahead of him, trying to see if he can get a little bit closer. They're getting past 4th and 3rd of our GTD class of Matt Lal and Matthew Newell, who are close to one another. They fighting it out. Jared not getting the best of drives out of turn one, now has to navigate on the outside to turn 4. Not going to have an easy accelerating point out, but is still doing everything he can to stay in for the fight, with the likes of Andres now onto the back of him.
Yeah, so far so good. Cutting through traffic, trying to keep that. Oh no, we got the 55 going around, 555. Oh, and he's gonna get a black flag for his troubles. Got the incident limit. Oh, that is unfortunate.
Alex Koshevin now gonna have to serve a drive-through. Was fighting up in the top 4 in class, now gonna be falling out of the top 5. As that is a nightmare affair for him, unfortunately. Putting wheel wrong and it gets the rear turned round is definitely going to be saying a few words under that helmet.
Sorry to cut you off there, Steven, but we have the LMP2 leader on pit lane right now.
This is going to be an interesting drive for our competitors to move forward here at the beautiful circuit of Daytona. James, thus far, the crowd getting what they paid for. Some great racing, some great, incredible action, but at the same time, everyone on the knife's edge trying to move forward.
Absolutely. Like, you can see some of these cars are not happy. They are on the ragged edge. You know, nighttime, it's the point where the grip is kind of at its least. So watching everyone do what they can to hold on to these cars, it is phenomenal. And that's what makes these overtakes that we're seeing that much more incredible and impressive, because you're having to fight the car, fight the other cars, and in some cases fight the other cars from the other class while you're trying to make these passes.
It's great time. Landon Stewart into the pits, trying to get himself sorted out. First of our LDMH cars fighting out, and
left to go in this race. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet, that's for sure.
That is for certain. With that being said, we do apologize for a little bit of technical difficulties, but with that being done, we're now into the last 10 minutes of the race. And folks, Don't go anywhere because it's about to get wild. And take a look at our virtual grandstands. We've got a number of drivers having a lot of fun out there. A number of our spectators going and keeping an eye. Alex Velasco being one of them, saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. He's enjoying the traffic. He's enjoying the battles. However, I got to say I'm enjoying the fights. There's Nathaniel trying to move up through the order. 8th in the LDMH class has got Daniel Bequero trying to close down on him. Jace Lawson up the road. Everyone giving it that final push down to the wire. And James, this is where the critical moments come in, as we will see drivers trying to do some proper late dives to get it moving forward, to see how hard they can stay at the sharp end of the field and doing everything they can to make it work. It's the lick it and send it moments. It's the postman pat moments. It is, in the immortal words of Murray Walker, drama, drama, drama moments.
Amen to that. You see, it hasn't calmed down whatsoever. We still have a massive trade of LMP2 cars right now. And you said it, the sends are probably going to get even crazier. Time is running out. The race win is on the line. Podiums are at the line. You don't want to sit there and go, maybe if I had just been oh, what a send! Wow! Oh, too much send.
A little too far, went into a different postcode there, I would say.
Yeah, that looked cool until it didn't.
Unfortunately, the Bobby car not having an easy time. Carlos saying, thank you very much. I'm going to keep going, and like everything, I will move forward. Carlos Ruiz Padilla currently holds on second in class. He's got Ryan Anderson ahead of him. Jan Beros trying to close down in third place. Our LMP2 field on top of one another, much like our GTD Pro, with Daniel Pino and Avery Hart still going and fighting out. Up towards our LDMH class, this is Aldefo Perez trying to move forward. He's got Landon Stewart on the back of him, and Landon is not backing down as they now overtaking the leaders of the LMP2s, now splitting it down the middle.
Wide. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Hold my drink moment. Here we come. And now it's a brawl out in front. Landon trying to see if he can navigate his way through. Also, not having the easiest of time. Ryan having to just hold the line. Timothy Marcello getting a black flag right with 6 minutes and 25 seconds to go. James, this is going into a wild moment, and this is now a bit of an interesting one. Perez into the pits.
Yeah, so now it might be kind of all she wrote here for that LMDH win. Gotta say, we'll see.
Are you sitting at a wooden table because you need a touch wood on that one? Commentator's curse is a real thing, James.
Yeah, and it's totally not like I have a heightened penchant of causing those to where it's literally called the Watson curse. Certainly not a thing that I've heard many times in my broadcasting career. Yeah, as you see, whoa, Padilla having a bit of a moment there.
Carlos having a moment. Jason Blaine trying to go around as he's got Jan Beros, who started out in first place in the Bobby car, now having to fight like his life depends on it. Is it going to be Bobby or will it be Ken? That is the questions coming down as they now catching up to Avery Hart in the GTD Pro class, second of our GTD Pro. Oh boy! And it's going to be in for the wide down the inside.
Oh, what a send! He pulled it off.
He pulled it properly off.
Oh, no. Okay, never mind. It's the second time he's made a send that looked like he had it until he didn't. But God bless him for trying.
Oh, what a drive. And Daniel out in the waifu car. Unfortunately, got bottled up. Take a look. Huge send into the bus stop. Couldn't slow the car down. Was able to keep it in check. Rejoins the circuit. But unfortunately, going to be absolutely knocked down the order. Now down into fourth as Young loses out a little bit of drive. He's got Carlos Ruiz all on the back of him. It is going to be the fight once again. Bobby versus Ken style. Carlos Ruiz on the back of him. Really not giving an inch.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Oh man, this is absolutely incredible, incredible racing, and it's not over as yet. Everyone trying to move forward. Carlos for the High Point Racing team doing everything he can to hold on to the podium. He's got Jason Blaine on the back of him. Right in front of them, they've got Jan Barros, the LMP2 class. All over the back of one another. No one able to break away. This is turning into some incredible racing. The question is, who's got enough in the tank to really give it that final push down to the wire? 3 minutes and 20 seconds remain, James. You and I both know, Rob knows this. As you get to the last 3 minutes of the race, you're now trying to keep yourself going. Daniel Pereira, unfortunately, in the Ferrari, is going to be getting a drive-through, so he is completely out of the running for the LDMH class. But last 3 minutes, you start getting that shake on the right leg, on the left leg. You start tightening up into the steering wheel that you're putting enough of a bend in it. This is some incredible racing, but nerve-wracking to get it to the line.
Absolutely. This is the gut check moment. This is where the champions and the race winners are made, just trying to keep the anxiety out, keep focused, just not make that mistake and let the inner saboteur rear its ugly head. And so far so good for these drivers. Emphasis on the so far.
So far being a big one on that one, as it is wild moments. Great racing, and this is what you expect from the HPR Imsa series. Matt Last trying to send it over the curbs, really battling to hold the line at the moment as he's got Matthew Knoll. We did see a car parked off on the right-hand side. That might have been Larson who went and lost it through bus stop, and unfortunately will be losing out a bit of time. But is Matthew Knoll trying to gain a little bit of time? Chase Larson, who was further up the order, did he get it wrong through bus stop? And over the curb, lost the rear.
He sure did.
Not quite what you want to be looking at. The sharp end of the cars coming at you. Not what you want to be seeing coming out of the bus stop as headlights. But it is manic. 1 minute and 30 seconds. This is going to be our leader heading on to the penultimate, onto his final lap. Landon currently leads out by 18 seconds to Adrian Probula, and Aldefo Perez holds on. I mean, this is an absolute great charge from the LDMH field. A field that isn't too favored in officials, showing off that you can race close, you can race clean. Carlos Ruiz trying to move forward. He wants to get onto the final step of the podium. He's got Jason Blaine fighting tooth and nail ahead of him. And Jason, once again, having to go elbows out racing like he's in for a fight of note.
Yeah, you can say that again. See, what do they do when we get into the bus stop?
It's on the anchors.
If the pass isn't made before that.
Getting tied up with our GTD field. Jason Blaine keeping it alive at this stage, but only just really trying to hold on to that final step of the podium. 13 seconds to go as Landon taking a gentle drive to the line. A quick left to right is going to be smiling ear to ear on this one and taking the race win, but will have an extra lap to go. Landon comes across the line to take the victory, while the rest of the field have one more lap to go. Our GTDs are not done with the race as yet. Landon Stewart wins out the LDMH class. That's going to be Ryan Anderson to take first in the LMP2 class. What a stellar drive.
Yeah, what a comeback. He spun on the opening lap.
A stellar run indeed. Daniel Pino, using the power of the waifus, will come across the line and be the ultimate senpai in the GTD Pro class. What a go and what a drive for the Mercedes driver, and stellar one, and one for the McLarens. The very few cars picked. Curtis Policio through the bus stop has got 23 seconds. All he needs to do is keep it together. The fanfare going nuts, and it's going to be Curtis on a stellar drive all the way through. He's going to be happy for the Third Header Motorsports. And what a drive in the McLaren. And for round one to score a victory, to take the momentum forward, is going to be an incredible run. And I got to say, the HPR Imsa series does not disappoint. And folks, are you not entertained?
I can't imagine anyone's going to be saying yes to that question. I know I was entertained.
A wild moment. James, I mean, as we see in the cars coming across the line, a sense of relief coming through the field. What a drive from all our competitors out there. And just taking a look back at it, some exciting moments that we got to call here. And we also get to see some burnouts coming in, as Landon having a stellar run, taking an overall victory in the Acura, the only LDMH Acura in the field.
Yeah, what a phenomenal job to take it to the Porsches there. Kind of a lone wolf. Numbers against him and bringing it home. Phenomenal drive.
And what a race, what a time from all our competitors. And still, that being said, this was only round one of our HPR Imsa series. Taking a look at the results, it's Landon Stewart, followed by Adrian Pabula and Adolf Perez, rounding out our top three in the LDMH. Andreas Corrado, Gerard McKee, Nigel Langley, Nathaniel Willey, Jace Lawson, Wiggs Santiago, and Corey Patton, rounding out our top in the LDMH.
And then we have Ryan Anderson bringing home the win in the LMP2s with Juan Santiago Barrios, and Jason Blaine bringing it home on the podium spots. Carlos Ruiz Padilla and Andrew Bruce rounding out the top five. Donald Powell, Kenneth Cloden, Matthew Mitchell, Nicholas Lanciers, and Lakenshaw rounding out the LMP2 field.
Moving on to our GTD Pro, it was Daniel G. Pino, the ultimate senpai, takes first place with Avery Hart. In second, Federico Callio fought it out for third place. Matsev Kutsov holds on for fourth. Jacob Kub, along with Eric Hammond, Rern Frankenberry, Luca Tossi, and Aldo Sicklin, rounding out the pack, 34 laps down.
And then we have Curtis Polisu, Matt Lass-Rooster, and Matthew Noel rounding out the podium spots. Brandon Dittmer, Gavin Canberra rounding out the top five. Donald Ingram Jr., Alex Kaforshin, Will Attram, Scott Farrell, and Jason Lepar rounding out the top 10. I'm doing my best to read these. Timothy Maslow, John Wainrich, Andrew Davis, Gonzalo Abscol, and Carlos Sierra rounding out the top 15. Edward Delano, Liam Habul, Gareth Caliber, Jacob Maddox, and David Dumont rounding out the field of the GTDs.
Absolutely wonderful stuff, James. I mean, taking a look back to that race, your thoughts as we got to see some incredible racing for round one for the HPR Imsa series, and the build-up as this entire championship is just getting better and better, faster and faster, and we're in for an exciting season worth of racing.
Yeah, you can definitely say that again. It puts pressure on these drivers because now they have to match this energy for the whole rest of the season. Like, that's the thing when you start off with such a banger like this one. Now the expectations are there for everyone to see some incredible racing following up this incredible opening night here at Daytona.
And with multi-class racing showing off some phenomenal run. Gotta say, some interesting overtakes, some interesting moments, but ultimately only one can be victor. And with our drivers giving it that extra little bit of a run. Now, that being said, our winners in each class get a 1-month subscription to Hymo. And what an incredible prize for getting a victory. To get winning setups from Hymo just by going and getting across the line and standing at the top. A month subscription all handed out to them to make sure they stand at the top. I mean, great stuff from Hymo, and what a prize. That being said, I mean, this is great stuff. Now, with that being on, we do see a couple of our drivers getting into the interview, and we're looking forward to having a chat to them as well, as an incredible race happening out there. As we've got Daniel Pino from our GTD Pro class coming to have a chat to us. Then we've got the likes of Ryan Anderson from our LMP2 class. So let's have a chat to Daniel, get an idea from our Ultimate Senpai how his race was. Daniel, welcome to the commentary box, and what a drive on your part with the Mercedes Ultimate Senpai out there, but had to earn it against Avery Hart and Federico Callio, who were chasing you down for that victory. How are you feeling?
I feel good. Chicken dinner.
There we go. I absolutely love to hear it. Take us through the race. Round 1, Daytona for the HPR Imsa series. Was the nerves on end, or were you calm, cool, and collected, ready to take the win?
Well, I have a strategy because I have a very bad qualifying. Okay, thankfully, I get in Tour 1 like 4 positions, and I was in Tour 2 in P2. My idea is to save fuel because I know that Everett with that Porsche in the straight is killer. So then I have Federico. That Federico helped me a lot because if Federico is not there, we are not catching Avery. Like, we are drafting each other, saving fuel. And it's just, I just win because Avery got a slowdown in the last 3 laps, just for that. And traffic, I think I managed way better. Like, the prototypes are insane.
Well, that being said, we saw the mad dash into the bus stop towards the end with the prototypes. I'm sure your eyes were on the mirrors out there. How was it being in one of the slower class cars and having to have the leaders of the LDMH, LMP2, and you guys in your own fight? Everyone rushing down to the wire. How was it for you out there?
Yeah, you had to have the cooler mind. Like, thankfully with HPR, I run a lot of endurance races, so it's normal. This, like, you have to maintain the inside. I like, for me, I don't care if they flash me. The guys flashing me, they can pass me in the outside. They have the fastest car. So for me, it's block the inside. Don't wait that the LMP2 send it, and don't wait that the GT3 P2 send it behind me. It's like, you have to work with the traffic. With every, on purpose, I pass, for example, a Lapec car, so he had to wait one entire corner to pass that car, so I can escape 1 second or 1.2. That is how you have to play with this type of multi-class.
Absolutely wonderful to hear. Daniel, before we let you go to enjoy the celebration, then congratulations on winning that 1-month subscription to Hymo Setups for the victory. Anything you would like to say to all the drivers and teams out there, to everyone out in the virtual grandstands? You're our senpai. Any last words before we let you enjoy the celebrations?
Yeah, one thanks to David that he makes me deliveries for the Merc. Carlos who invited me to the league. Uh, I am in his team in the Endurance in Pro team. We tomorrow we have a North 24 race with the team in the first slot. So this is good practice. And for the crowd, I beat the main car in Daytona. Just that.
Absolutely wonderful. Daniel, congratulations on your victory and can't wait to see you heading into round two. With that being said, James, you managed to catch up with Ryan Anderson, our winner of the LMP2 class.
Yes, sir. Ryan, James in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, man.
Well, it certainly ended phenomenally for you there, but I do got to ask the start. You had yourself a little bit of a trouble there in the opening laps.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a sloppy start. I managed to get the jump on my buddy Jan there, but unfortunately that outside just is really slippery compared to that inside. And when you're on when you don't get the rear tires fired up, it can spin you out there, and that's what ended up happening. But luckily, I mean, if you are going to spin out, the first lap is probably the lap to do it because everyone is still on cold tires, battling for position and scrapping. So I didn't lose too much time.
Yeah, and like what a recovery, making it a little bit of a last to first challenge. Did you think you were gonna be able to recover that well as that happened?
I wasn't expecting the win. I could definitely tell you that. I knew I had good pace. You know, this car has been with the setup I have on it, which I was able to kind of make myself. I knew I was able to really put in some good lap times, but um, I wasn't expecting, you know, the guys up front to be scrapping that much. It was a pretty chaotic race with all types of traffic. Like it's been a minute since I've done a Imsa race, but I think what really ended up sealing me the deal was my fuel strat at the end. On the very last pit stop, I took a significant less amount of fuel compared to Carlos and Jan. And then what ended up happening is since I was behind when we made our pit stop, I was able to kind of come out right behind them and stay in their tow. And then they just started scrapping. And then I was just able to kind of maneuver my way around them and get the lead. Um, and then I was able to pull like I think a 3 second gap almost in that one lap. But one thing I was nervous about was having enough fuel to finish. I don't know if you were seeing. I'm sure there was a lot you were seeing on the broadcast, but I was lifting and coasting like mad hard on those last 5 laps. But I had the gap to do it because these guys were just. I was looking in my mirrors, and my spotter was like, "These guys are just battling crazy hard behind you," and I was like, "That's exactly what I need," because now I can just play it safe, lift and coast, have enough fuel to finish, and we were able to get the win somehow. So it was actually a really impressive drive. That was actually one of my most impressive drives. Like I was very happy with that result. I was not expecting a race win after that first lap.
Yeah, and lift and coast like a true Ferrari driver there, but man, incredible win. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go celebrate?
Uh, no sponsors. I mean, I work for CrowdStrike, so I always like to support them in their racing in real life and their when they race in IMSA and all that. I do want to give a huge credit to the HPR League for allowing like just putting on this show with you guys in the broadcast and like everyone playing a part with the stewards, the race control, Carlos, you know, directing everything. It's really well managed. So yeah, and also it's a kind of great way to keep me happy before I start my second race in real life, my Grid Life Rush SR series coming up. I'm going to be at Road Atlanta next week, racing there in real life. So um, going from here to that is going to be a pretty big change, but you know, it's nice to have a positive weekend going into that. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty Pretty chaotic race, but managed to get the win. So I'm very happy with that result. Great way to start the season.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, Ryan, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week here.
All right, man. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Ryan Anderson, and good luck to him for his race, and hopefully going to bring him back another gold trophy. That being said, let's have a chat to one of our drivers. Let's have a chat to Curtis Polioso, who came first in the GT. Curtis, welcome to the commentary box. The McLaren at the top. How are you feeling after that race? A little bit of a mental one out there.
Yeah, you know what? It was a good race for me. Got a little lucky at the start in turn one. Just hung to the inside and the path opened up. And then from there we were steady, made no mistakes. Got into a groove with the number 18 Castrol McLaren in the Pro division, and we were just working together. Yeah, and just a clean race from there. So feels really good, really satisfying.
Now, I've got to ask about that one. You're in essentially the AM class in the GTD against the Pro class. How was it mixing wheels with similar machinery in a multi-class race, but knowing, all right, you're in a class ahead of me, I'm in my own class, let's not get into a fight, but having the field coming at you. Matt Loss was chasing you down, Matthew Knoll as well, Brandon Demitter as well, trying to go for that top spot. Plus, you're navigating through the GTD Pro class at the same time.
Yeah, and it was even more tricky because my setup was lower drag. So I was faster on the straights than the pros, but they were faster in the infield. So just trying to stay out of their way, but also not lose too much lap time. But yeah, definitely no need to fight with them. So I think we all did well for that.
And now taking the momentum from this race, Daytona heading next week, we head out to Sebring. What's the game plan now that the target is square on your back, that you've taken the victory here at Daytona and the rest of the field now know your number?
Yeah, we're going to practice as much as we can. We're going to play with some setups and, we're going to check fuel strategy. We're going to leave no stone unturned and we're going to rock up and do our best.
Absolutely wonderful. Curtis, before we let you go, to enjoy the celebration and congratulations on winning the Hymo setup 1 month subscription just by winning tonight. Anything you would like to say to the drivers, teams, and also out to the virtual grandstand here at the Racer Nexus?
You know what? Daytona's got the best fans. Anytime we can rock up at this track and put on a show, it's a treat. And I can't wait to do it again at the next circuits.
Can't wait to see it. Curtis, well done on a stellar victory, and we can't wait to have a chat to you next week. What a stunning drive. And that being said, we're going to have our fastest commentator talk to the fastest driver on circuit. James managed to catch up with Landon Stewart.
Yeah, he said fastest commentator. I don't know why I'm talking to him. I'm certainly not that. But hey, Landon, how about it? What a performance tonight. First of all, I got to ask you, that battle for the lead there early on, that was a blast for us to watch. Was it as fun for you out there behind the wheel?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I was following behind Adrian because, there was multiple times I could have passed him, but I wanted to play patient because I knew later in the race they would come to me. So, every single time I would, get beside him or whatever, it would be an awkward time to try to pass him, going into the kink. I knew he was going to try to squeeze me, so I had to back out. That's a lot of the reason why I had to keep following behind. But, it was all just a patience game, to be fair.
Yeah, we definitely saw a lot of, not quite pushing the issue, but some crazy passing opportunities with going through all the lap traffic. How terrifying is it from your point of view, just trying to not only hold on to the car, but avoid everyone while you're going for a race win?
Yeah, it's never easy navigating through traffic and trying to pass people in your own class. It's never easy, especially in big endurance events like the Daytona 24 hour, because there's so much on the line, and one little mishap, it can end your race. It could end Adrian's race. So, and you got to be very careful on what you do. You got to pick your battles, everything. But it wasn't as bad as trying to avoid the chaos out the bus stop in front of me after a few laps.
And now I do gotta ask. We were on board with you on one of the pit exits there, and looks like you got a little up close and personal with the pit exit wall. Did you get any damage from that?
No, I did not, honestly. That was a little bit. I was a bit lazy. I turned in a bit late, and my right tires dipped into that concrete, and it scraped the wall. I was like, that was lazy. I hope we don't have any damage from that. But no, we were all good.
Oh, good to hear that. Clearly, that car did not have any damage, but finally, starting off with the win here in the opening round. How does that set you to try to go bring home another HPR championship here?
It's pretty much the perfect way to start my title defense. But I mean, no, just gotta stay consistent over the entire season, like I did last season. Although I wasn't very consistent on showing up because I missed about 4 races. But no, it's just about staying consistent, hitting your marks every race, racing clean, make sure you don't get any penalties, all that sort.
Yes, sir. Well, a phenomenal win to start out the season. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Just want to thank High Point Racing for setting this all up. I've been with their endurance team for a while, and this whole Imsa thing has really blown up. This season is probably the biggest that I've seen yet, broadcast-wise and attendance-wise. So I just want to have a big shout out to them for this, for setting this all up and hosting everything, and Carlos. Can't forget him.
All righty. We appreciate you, Landon, and hopefully we're talking to you again next race.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Having a chat to Landon Stewart there, and what a drive on his part. But that being said, James, we are done and dusted here at Daytona. It's a quick hop and a skip, a 2 hour and 44 minute drive, 144 miles to round 2 at Sebring. Any last thoughts from your side before we hop on the bus, head over and enjoy some of the racing out at Sebring?
No, I mean, there's not really much more you can add to a great night of racing that we saw. We saw some incredible overtaking opportunities, some crazy wheel-to-wheel racing, just no one giving an inch, but nothing really too silly. Just a phenomenal display from everyone in this league from a racecraft standpoint. And yeah, I can't wait to see what next race brings, and hopefully it can continue bringing the same energy here.
It's going to be a great one. It's going to be an exciting one here at High Point Racing. And we look forward to seeing you guys heading next week to Sebring. Massive thank you to all our sponsors, Hymo, Monsters Designs, and Admin Box, to all our admin behind the scenes working incredibly hard, to Track Cams Gourmet for all the impressive camera angles, led by Rob Campbell, who gave us all the shots and craziness going on, from James Watson, our fastest commentator. And I say that because, well, he still beats me on the mic and will beat me in any car, as I put it into the wall. From myself, Stephen Koenig, we look forward to seeing you guys next time out here on the Racer Nexus channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon, leave a like, and let us know what was your favorite part of the race. And like always, folks, a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody.